The revolution is now.
That you sing as giving them a high of kindness.
Anasema malaika ninakupenda malaika anasema malaika ninakutamani malaika anasema.
What's going on, world? Welcome back to T3 and Me. It's your man Tim Ford Jr. here, and today I'm here with my beautiful wife, Mrs. Siobhan Ford. Karibu, Mrs. Ford.
Asante. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Karibu, welcome to all the people who are watching right now, to all of our new subscribers. Welcome to the journey, to all of our people who've been tuned in to the entire journey. Thank you all as well. And we appreciate the love. We appreciate the support we've been getting so far. We appreciate the donations, the well wishes. We appreciate it all. We don't take it for granted that you guys have been tuned into the content and find value in what we producing. So, hey, thank you for your time, and we thank you guys for your attention. So, hey, like I said in the beginning of the video, guys, the revolution is now. The revolution is now. We are in a pivotal point in history. We are at a point where, things are happening in ways that we never could have imagined that we'll be a part of. Things are changing and people are stepping up and assuming their rightful position as they should in a time such as now. So it's amazing to be alive and be able to witness and play a role in this, honestly, because, a lot of people don't accept their role in their mantle, but we're actually playing a role in this entire thing. And everyone should be looking and figuring out how they can play a role in this thing. So the revolution is now. And it's time for people to just really step in their roles and see what time it is.
Yeah, because let's just make it plain. Like, Black people are at war. Maybe a lot of people don't want to admit that or live in that reality, but the reality is we've been at war since the colonizers came and got us, since the Berlin Conference, even before then, since Rome. I mean, we've been at war for thousands of years, and the only people that don't seem to realize that we're at war is us. Like, joke's on us. Like, everyone knows,
it's still going on.
Right, like they took Crafty Council, they got together in their secret groups and secret meetings and made their plans, and they took years to put their plans together, and it's a whole elaborate scheme, and so it's amazing that the only people that don't know that we're at war is us, as a whole, as a collective. People are starting to wake up now, but the war is being waged on so many different fronts. Now Africa is being pulled into a physical war.
All because of other countries' interests. Because what they have going on inside of Africa. Now Africa is on the radar, and now things are, coming to the footsteps of Africa. But we knew that's a part of prophecy, and it's supposed to happen in that manner. So, once again, there's nothing to fear. It's just the reality of what we're dealing with and how we have to pay attention to the times and really stay on the right side of things and really stay in your position, honestly, and don't fret. And don't be afraid and don't be fearful of the headlines and really understand the times.
And I guess we should discuss what's going on, because some people may not even know, but if you don't know, not only are Black people at war, but now Africa is at war, more specifically West Africa. And I won't even say, they're at war. I'm just going to say it. So I'll catch you guys up to speed in case people don't know what's going on. So in West Africa, there's a group of nations called Ecowas, which stands for Economic Community of West African States. And basically it's a coalition of a lot of the different countries from West Africa who are basically following the model of Pan-Africanism that was laid down by our ancestors, such as Marcus Garvey and Malcolm X and others of that caliber, and Gaddafi, who basically sought to unite African peoples from the entire diaspora, politically, economically, socially, all that good stuff. So they basically different parts of Africa are basically getting together. So you have Western countries in Africa who are forming their coalition. You have Eastern countries in Africa who are forming their coalition. Southern Africa, Northern Africa, everyone's coming together because we understand that the only way we're going to be able to get rid of the colonizers and to get far and get what we need and not be destroyed is working together. Yeah. And so basically they decided to work together. So there's been a series of coups, and coups are basically like when they overthrow the government. So basically all of those, a lot of the different leaders who are like presidents of different African countries are actually put in there by the West, by America and Europe. So basically they're not for the people, they're for their own interests, and they're basically upholding the agenda of the West. Yeah. And so the people of these different African countries have been becoming hip to what's going on. So they basically been kicking people out, like taking over presidencies, taking over militaries, taking their country back. Yeah. Basically. Right. So the country of Burkina Faso had a coup recently, and then Mali had a coup recently, and now Niger had a coup within the past couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. And this is basically the one that broke the camel's back, because I guess the Europe and the West is waking up like, okay, like they're kicking us out of there. Like they're just going country by country by country, and they're all, as they kick the colonizers out, they're working together. They're forming coalitions, working together. People wondering why they're kicking people out, because the main reason that they're in the country is to steal the resources. Like they're there to take what most of the countries is uranium, right? They're taking uranium from most of the countries. Yeah, uranium is one of the biggest, is the largest export in Niger, I think. And, they're basically trying to see like, okay, why are you guys over here taking full advantage of us if this is our land, we have the rights to this, and you guys aren't paying us properly, basically. Like they're still holding on to the mindset of the colonial times. Mm-hmm. They think that we're still in those times and they can uphold those type of rules. The president of Burkina Faso, he's like 35. Yeah, and he's a young brother. Yeah, and he's like, why are we like? It doesn't like our generation thinking like it doesn't make sense. Like who do y'all think y'all are? And we remember when I remember hearing the story about the late Magufuli when he began to kick other people out of their country and show them out of the country, Tanzania, and demand respect. Everyone began to come back with better terms, and they understood that, okay, these people aren't playing, so let's just come correct. So basically, if you stand up for yourself, stand up for your people, stand up for the truth, and really mean it, they can't do anything but respect it and come back with the right terms. So it's just time that we see that leaderships all over the world are stepping up and really doing the right thing for their people, even if it means risking your life. Sometimes some people have to do that in order to get the mission accomplished. Yeah, going back to Nigeria now. So we had the coups in Burkina Faso and Mali, and now Nigeria was like, okay, tag, I'm in, it's my turn now. So they basically kicked the puppet president out. They had him on house arrest, and France was talking big, like, oh, we gonna, y'all need to release him and restore him back to his rightful position. And if not, it's gonna be, it's gonna be some smoke. And Ecowas, some of the presidents and the leaders from the Ecowas coalition, it wasn't a lot of them, but I believe it was the president of Nigeria. He was the one who was basically with France, like, yeah, we're gonna invade you guys and sanction you guys if y'all don't reinstate the old president that they kicked out because he didn't have the interests of the people at heart. And so the Nigerian senator was like, no, we not with him. We not with him. Like the senators. That's something that some African people understand, that like we're not going against the people, because the people could take us out to the bush with the machetes and we're at crocodile bait. You know what I'm saying? So. And they're for the people. They are people that live in the country, and they actually love their country, and they want to see what's done being done rightfully, right, in the best interest of the country. So Nigeria was like, the Nigerian senators was like, nah, we not with him. A couple of the other countries like Burkina Faso and Mali, and I think a few of the other ones, I don't want to mention their names and say it wrong, but a couple of the other countries was basically riding with Nigeria, like, nah, if y'all send in Ecowas coalition of troops, like, we're gonna have to ride with Nigeria. So basically it's gonna be infighting, and some of the other presidents of the other countries in West Africa were like, no, we shouldn't be fighting each other and further destabilizing this region. Like, that's the whole problem now.
Yeah.
Because all of this destabilization is going on because of the West, because you guys are upholding their interests. Like, no, we're not trying to fight each other. We want to come to a diplomatic solution. So basically, it's like you can see the tides are turning, you know, like you can see like where it's going. And then Wagner, which is the Russian military, they pledged their support to Niger. So basically, if France gets involved and they start and America starts messing with Niger or any of them West African countries that have ties with Russia, it's going to be a war. It's going to be a war, and America and Europe has to decide, like, is it worth it? It's a war for Africa. That's what it's all about. It's about us. Like, it's a war for Africa, for our minerals, for our resources, for our people. They want to do everything possible to make sure that they can have control over this.
At a cheap rate.
Yeah, at for free.
For free, right.
Not even a cheap rate, for free.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but the tide is turning. And, you know, we just want to be treated fairly and equally as people. We want to be seen as people. We want to be heard as people. And we're going to be seen and heard as people, no matter what it takes. So, hey, it's just that point in history. And it's time. All of us have roles in this thing. All of us have a particular place and a position where we can play to make this go forward. That, you know, we all need each other, and it's time to just really step up and get in your position, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The revolution is happening all over Africa. Like, a lot of the different presidents of Africa are standing up. They are going along with Pan-Africanism. And they're like, no, like, even the president, I believe it was one of the head officials of Guinea. I believe it was the president. But she was saying the same thing. She was like, no, like, we need to form and stick to Pan-African ideologies. Like, we don't need to be worried about anything that they're doing. Man. They need to go. Now, Europe and America, they basically played their wrong hand in this whole situation. They thought that they were going to be able to do what they always do, which is go in, bully countries, destabilize the region, keep their people in position to, you know, have their interests going. But that time is over. That time is over, and they don't recognize that time is over. They're still operating like business as usual. So what they did was they blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a whole big commotion in the news where the Nord Stream pipeline was mysteriously blown up, which is the pipeline that connects Russia to Europe, the gas line. And it's like super, super important for Europe to have this pipeline because they rely on other countries to supply them with energy to light their homes, heat their homes, and all that stuff. And of course, everyone knew that America blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, but they're denying it. They're the only one that have interest to blow up the Nord Stream pipeline because Europe wouldn't blow it up because they're getting gas from Russia that they need. And Russia wouldn't blow it up because that's their pipeline that they're sending the gas to, and they're getting money off of that. So the only person who has an interest to blow this up is America. So everyone knows it's America, but they're just not admitting to it. So they blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, and I guess they thought that they was good because they are supposedly building another pipeline throughout West Africa. And Niger happens to be one of the countries that's along the pipeline route. And they said, no, like, y'all not putting this pipeline through here. Like, 80% of our country doesn't even have electricity and run in basic necessities, and we're gonna power you guys up with our gas? Like, are you crazy? And so now they're shaking in their boots because the winter time is coming up, and they already don't have the gas coming from Russia because the pipeline is blown up. And this was like their second, like their plan B, and now their plan B is falling apart because it seems like most of the people in Africa are actually riding with Niger.
Yeah, as they should.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a new time, man. It's a new time, a new day and age. And everybody who has the wherewithal to stand on something gets what they stand for. Mm-hmm. But if you don't stand for something, you're going to get what they give you. So, hey, the choice is yours. Since we're here, got to show y'all some of the products real quick.
This I'm not your body baby. I'm not your body.
Yeah, natural product.
Not your body.
Yeah.
Not your body.
Yeah. Say. Yeah, come closer. Come. Busy Beachy.
Karibu.
America it's basically slowly, it's falling into a third world state. And it's like fighting and clawing, trying to figure out how to stay afloat. Yeah, America and Europe, they're falling to third world states. It's to the point where like 70% of people are suffering from mental health issues. 70%. They can't even figure out what's going on and how to get it fixed. Even in that environment, you can't even think clearly. Like, you can't even get to a space to even think about what you're dealing with because you're so focused on the bills. You're trying to figure out how you're going to move forward. And, like, the environment isn't even a place that's conducive for you to even be. So I don't even understand why people are still not seeing the writing on the wall and not taking advantage of other places. Other countries are even telling people, their citizens, not to go to America because of the safety of the citizens, not for travelers, but because of the safety for the citizens. Yeah. So, like, the whole world knows, everyone knows but us. Like, we're the group of people that's still, like, naive, believing in the system, trying to run it up, not knowing we can plant something somewhere else and build in other places. For the time being, at least put yourself in the right environment to build something, you know, and to ride the tide or something. Like, you got to take advantage of the times, but man, I don't see how people still believe and think that things aren't falling. And then homelessness. Homelessness?
Yeah. Oh, not listening.
Homelessness is huge. I know y'all been seeing it, noticing it, and I've seen the videos of California and what was it, Philadelphia that time?
Yeah, they strung out.
Man. So it's like a whole bunch of things that's going on and everything is coming to roost. And we see like the time has changed and we are in the position to where we can really put ourselves in a better position. So it's time to really seek elsewhere. We don't have to keep dealing with that, man. You can find you somewhere and be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't even talk about the other. It looked like it done kicked off the Civil War in America.
Man, I wouldn't say they trying to kick it off.
The Montgomery Tea Party.
Yeah.
So like it's like black people all around the world are like just like waking up like now, like if we gotta fight, we gotta fight. Like that's what it's come to, you know, because it's like we can't pass on this fight to the next generation. We have to free ourselves, free Africa, liberate ourselves, kick the colonizers out, move from around them, get ourselves together, build our own nation. The time is now. Yeah. If not now, then when? We already see Agenda 2030 is right around the corner. They're planning on locking everybody down to a slave technological state. Under their leadership and rulership, they have complete and utter control over you because they're controlling you internally through some device. Man,
they said this.
They said this and they're doing it. They have the technology. They have the chips that they can put in you. They have robotics. They have all of that stuff. They know how to clone people. So this technology is not like some conspiracy or made up. So if we allow them to go on another 5-10 years this way, where will we be? If not for the Most High. That's not going to happen, you know. So it's just a call to the revolutionaries, like all the real revolutionaries stand up. It's time for us to continue on with the mission that our ancestors laid. Marcus Garvey, Gaddafi, he was a martyr. He was martyred for us. And because he wanted to bring a gold-backed currency to the continent of Africa. That's still a dream that needs to be realized. There's still positions and roles that all of us have a role to play in this revolution, whether it's on the front lines, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's behind the scenes, whether it's being a financier, whether it's being a visionary, whether it's being a thought leader, whether it's holding in gatherings and meetings and writing letters. It's so much stuff that needs to be done for us to be able to truly liberate ourselves and free our minds first and foremost. And then once our minds are free, everything else, the mental shackles are free, the physical shackles will fall.
Have no choice.
Right after, right.
Have no choice.
Since we're here, we want to invite you guys to our next Investors Roundtable, which will be August 25th. If you missed the first one, you definitely don't want to miss this one. The purpose of this event is to help pave the way for the return of the diaspora and build generational wealth and safety through investments in agriculture, real estate, and tourism here in Tanzania. We also will be discussing tangible pathways for you to stay in the country long term. It's time to unite and turn our dollars into wealth and assets as we rebuild our nation. The link to register for this event is on our website at t3andme.org/events.
One more thing. 3/4, and I know this for a fact because I used to live in it, unfortunately, but 3/4 of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That's not a way we supposed to be living. There's alternative solutions. Like, you don't have to keep believing in a place that's falling down, man. The stress that comes with it and the hustle and bustle that comes along with that lifestyle of living there and living in those places is something that we shouldn't be subject to. There's other calmer and peaceful ways to handle things and get your affairs taken care of. I couldn't fathom it at first, but it's really possible to live in another country. The only thing that really stops us is the fact that we watch too much TV. And we don't believe, like, we just can't see anything. We can't believe that anything outside of America exists. But there's life outside of what we've been boxed in to see, literally. Like, you have to look outside of your box of your sports, your soap opera, your TV shows, your movies, whatever you love and like that has a stronghold on you, that has a deep connection that keeps you in the box. You gotta remove yourself from that and look outside of that and look at reality. And look what's going on around you. Everybody just in their phones trying to pretend like it's not hell going on around them. Pretend like it's not mess going on around them.
Literal hell.
Literal hell. Like, this video you're watching might be a glimmer of hope, but just take a second and look around. Somebody might be watching this on their phone, in the train, on the bus, and just look around. Just feel around. Just really take a look at what's going on around you and how people are feeling, how people are living, what people are talking about. Like, I was talking to one of my brothers, and I talked to one of my brothers who's like kind of established in America, and we all have family members who haven't figured it out yet. And I was telling him about some of the challenges I have with talking to some of my people who are still in that environment and in a predicament. And he was telling me it's because I have to continue to have a connection to really see and understand what people are dealing with and feel the effects of what people are dealing with, because that's the only way I would feel it now. So now when I talk to people at home, I hear everything that's going on. I feel everything that's going on. So y'all don't even have to tell me. I'm hearing it. Still have to experience it because it's still hitting close to home. So we know that environment is not, unfortunately not conducive right now. I just wish more people would believe in themselves and take a chance and really understand that it's falling to a third world state. What we've been watching and thinking Africa is what's coming of the place that we used to love and think had everything in abundance.
Yeah, and going back to what you were saying about look around on what's going on. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to check out our last live that we did on They're Coming for Our Children. If you haven't had a chance to watch that, definitely take a look at that, because like he mentioned about the danger that's all around us, the sex trafficking is at an all-time high. And that includes children, men, and women. And there are hubs for that sort of activities. Although, yes, it is a global ring, there's hubs where it's more prevalent and where it's easier to do those sort of activities. And America is one of those places. It's the biggest hub for that. So millions of people are trafficked. Millions of people are trafficked each and every day, right under our noses. So just go check out the video, but just know that we're under attack from all different ways. Our flesh is under attack. Our children are under attack. As I mentioned earlier, genetically, biologically, all through the food. We're at war, and while we're at war, it's no better time to start a revolution than when we're at war. We can't just keep going along with the okie doke and just going along with what's given to us and what's handed to us and act how we're expected to act. We should counteract that. We should do the opposite of what they're telling us to do, because this is our homeland. Africa is the richest continent on the face of the earth. There's no reason why anyone on this continent should be poor, save for the interference of the colonizers, which we now are waking up to. So you don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss the revolution. You don't want to miss what's going on here and get in on it and plant your feet down and solidify yourself into the motherland and make a legacy for yourself and for your family and for your generations to come, because there is no legacy to be made in America. That place is gone. It may physically be there, but it's gone spiritually. And once it's gone in the spiritual realm, the natural realm is soon to follow. So look at the writing on the wall. Look at the projections of what's going on. make your calling and your election sure. Make sure that you know where you're gonna be, where you're gonna go, what your plan is, what's your role in this. Because like I said earlier, we all have a role in this. And the revolution is going on right now as we speak.
Like my wife said, man, make your calling and your election sure. You know, there's alternative methods, there's alternative ways for us to live. We know majority of the people coming from America are broke. Majority of the people living in America are broke, unfortunately. Living paycheck to paycheck, can't even get access to real food.
Food deserts.
Food deserts, you can't even get access to real foods. So man, we all have a choice. Like by you still sitting there, still living in it, you're choosing to at this point. Like it's by choice. We all have a decision to make, and we can make the proper moves and adjustments to put ourselves and our family in a better position. So, you know, make the choice to do the right thing and plant yourself in the right place to build something during these times.
At the right time, yeah.
Yeah.
Time and place is everything.
Everything. So, yeah, man. Hey.
This is the time and the place. That's the beauty of it.
Yep. So if you made it to the end of the video, hey, shout out to you. Thank you for staying tuned. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, all right? Thank you. Asante Sana. And yes, so I know you guys saw that we had our Swahili course going on there first. So we're actually about to kick off the second cohort for our Swahili course. So be on the lookout for that for those who've expressed interest and said that they're interested in learning the language of Swahili. We will start our second cohort coming up here in a few weeks. All right, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah, and that's definitely, I wish that someone I knew was doing a Swahili course before we came here, because that is such a important aspect of repatriation, is learning the language of whatever country you're going to. It helps with ease of life, fitting in the culture. It just helps on so many different levels. So definitely take advantage of it if you can.
Yeah, I've learned, like my wife said, that's an integral and a very important part of the healing process, because you know, there'll be language barrier moments where you're trying to explain your story and connect with your people in a way where they can understand, and they won't even feel you because you can't even find the words to express it to them. So in the moment of healing and trying to tell your story and connect with people, really knowing the language of your mother tongue really helps you connect and get connected to the culture. So yeah, it comes in handy for sure.
Right.
Don't write it off.
And if we're coming out of her, that's in all ways: language, culture, traditions, clothing, food, everything. We gotta just drop it all. You know, we still gonna speak English, but we need to learn our mother tongue too.
A little by little, kidogo. So yeah, if y'all interested in that, be on the lookout. If you're interested in figuring out how to come to Africa for your specific needs and your specific situation, we offer repatriation consultations for those who are interested. We will get on the phone with you and answer your questions and figure out how to fit your specific needs to help you out. So, you know, if you're interested in that, the link will be in the description box and you can click it to sign up, all right? And also, if you're interested in getting your healing from the inside out, my wife offers herbal consultations for those who are interested in getting the healing and finding out a natural way to heal and figure things out. Whatever you've been dealing with, my wife is a licensed herbal practitioner, so she has the wherewithal to help you figure out what you need help with, all right? So if you're interested in getting your healing done, click the link in the description box to book a consultation with my wife, all right?
And lastly, if you are planning to move or visit Africa, check out our Repat travel guide, which basically has a list of items that we think will be beneficial and important when you're repatriating over here or visiting here, to kind of make your journey, your transition a little smoother. So that will also be in the description box below.
If you want to reach out to us about anything else, you can hit us up at t3me.org. All right? So yeah, if you made it to the end of the video, we appreciate the love, we appreciate the support, and we appreciate you giving us your attention and your time, and we hope we were able to add some value to your life, and you are able to see what can happen in Africa and what can happen anywhere if you believe in yourself and get it done. But, you know, preferably where we coming from, come back to the motherland and do what you need to do, all right?
Yeah.
All right.
Mama Africa's waiting for you.
Take up your position and do what you need to do, all right? Yeah. All right. Y'all be safe out there.
Yeah.
Shalom.
Ooh, the mosquitoes coming. Love y'all. Bye.